You're listening to the Para House Entertainment Network. Come join us as we take you deep into the fire to the paranormal realms of hauntings, UFOs, ETs, alien abductions, strange creatures, and the vastness of universal consciousness as we continue to seek what is not supposed to exist as we search for the truth that only comes from going into the fire. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Into the Fire. It's Tuesday night, and in fact, it's a very special Tuesday night, not just only because we have Ronnie Dee back to talk about the Harriman and also Old South Pittsburg Hospital, but it is a special day because it's May 3rd, and May 3rd says that, which is everybody a very happy paranormal day. May 3rd has been deemed Happy Paranormal Day. From now on, it's a national holiday. Son of a gun. What do you guys think of that?
It snuck up on us, didn't it?
Yeah, I know. Jeez. And then we got the big, what is it, September 25th is when we have the world's largest ghost hunt.
Wow.
And what's tomorrow?
and tomorrow is, may the FORE be with you.
And then Thursday is Cinco de
Mayo. Get your margaritas out. Oh,
yeah.
I think I see Ronnie drinking one now. What is that? We got Ronnie Dee, and yes, he is waving one. He's waving something in a bottle. I think they're now coming into a bottle. But we've got Ronnie in the green room. He'll be right out here with us. Let's cover just a few things. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing great. How about you?
Oh, I am excited. Been a busy weekend up at the old the hall, and
I got a pug trying to climb my leg.
Oh, pug love. But yeah, it's been crazy. We got some crazy weeks coming up here. And we've got a lot of stuff going on. Just want to drop a note. We still have some tickets available for our event that's going to be on June 25th at the old Gaines Tavern up in Boone County.
Suicide house.
Yes, the murder-suicide house, and no matter how bad they don't want to mention it, my gosh, there's been a lot of history in that house about murders and suicides. And we'll share that with you the night that we're up there and talk about that. We're having a great conference. We've got Ray Saminsky, Dave Spinks, and Serenity J is going to join the Night Stalkers along with our dear friend Debbie Mitchell-Warren. And we're really looking forward to that. So you can go and get your tickets now. It's only $60. You're going to get fed. So it's going to have a great time, and it's a house that not too many people have had that opportunity to investigate. So, and hopefully we'll be able to help them out and give them some donations and also get it off the ground for other people to be going up there in that area to be able to hunt it and also enjoy that fantastic location. So please do what you can. As you know, we do a lot of stuff, and we're not out for the money. We're out to help other people to get this places established, and that's what we love to do. So hopefully we'll get to see you then, and if not, you may see us beforehand as we talk with our dear friend Ronnie. I'm going to bring Ronnie on right now. Hey, Ronnie, I just saw the president in there. That's all I thought. I said, oh, we got a new president finally. Hallelujah.
Oh, we're not going political, are we?
No, I need to be on here for more than 5 minutes.
Let's go for a different day at a different time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, my friend. So how are you doing?
Ronnie?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing? I'm exhausted. We had quite the week at the new location. We had 2 teams out this weekend and fixed a roof, and then we were inspected by the city, and it's just been a heck of a week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Coming back to Chicago, of course, my plane gets delayed out of Chattanooga, and the air conditioner's not working in the plane, and it's 95 degrees in Chattanooga. Needless to say, people are fainting on the airplane, and it was just not a great week. So,
gosh,
yeah, right?
Yes, we always move forward. It's just part of life. That's the kind of stuff they throw at us.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't flown in a long time. I used to fly all the time, and I don't know if I'd like flying anymore. How is it nowadays doing that? I know it's not a paranormal subject, but I just got to know because
everybody knows I fly in and out of Chicago, every other week. So I'm in Tennessee, and I still enjoy it. I got so many miles because of how much I fly. I get a premier pass, so I don't have to wait in the big lines and all their stuff. And
excellent.
I try to make sure that I don't have a passenger next to me because it seems like I always get stuck next to that guy who wants the armrest. And half of but yeah, so it's not bad. United treats me really well. I fly primarily with United, really enjoy United, and it's really kind of neat when you go to the Chattanooga airport because it's kind of a small airport, and it's always the same lady, and she always looks at me and she goes, "God, I hope you're not delayed again today."
She curses you right off the bat as soon as you get there, right?
It's about I think the average is about when we're flying out of Chattanooga, it's about 40% on time. The other 60%, it could be anywhere from 20 minutes late to like 2 or 3 hours.
Wow.
Bad. I try to take the late flight so I get as much time in Tennessee as possible. I don't get home till
red eye, huh?
Yeah, I'm late out of Chattanooga, so spend as much time as I can at my locations and clean them up and then come back and work another job here. You know how it is.
Yes, and it's you've got a heck of a wonderful job, in fact. So tell me, what teams do you have out there this week?
We had the bench breaking broads on Saturday night, and Friday night. Oh my gosh, Leon, I know you're watching. Help me. Who was the name of the group that was there on Friday night? I don't remember. It was really neat though. It was an all-female weekend.
Really good.
The teams Friday night were ladies, and the teams on Friday and Saturday night were ladies, with the exception of one gentleman who was their tech person, who was a gentleman who was out of South Carolina, who does all of the tech stuff for bench breaking broads. As Leon said, it was the Holly Prime team, I believe. But both teams are real good. What do you call it? Guests of ours at OSPH. They talked about Octagon Hall going there a few times as well too. So, but yeah, what an amazing weekend!
So, how was the activity for them?
It was amazing. It was amazing. And it's kind of one of the things that's really scary about investing all this money, and buying these locations is that I was really concerned. You asked my team, I was really scared. Like, oh my God, what happens if they go and they get nothing? If they're walking through the hospital, it's 9 o'clock at night, and they're like, "Oh, we're out of here." This is. I will tell you that the team on Friday night walked in the door, and the activity was off the hook. I mean, they were walking up to me like, "Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you see that?" It was crazy. It was like the building. It was like, here we are. And then the bench breaking broads were there at noon. Which, by the way, everybody, the reason why the bench breaking broads actually came across their name is because. Before I owned OSPH, they actually were a team of friends who went on a paranormal investigation. They all sat on one bench at OSPH, and it broke. So I was like, we're coming over the bench breaking broad. So that's kind of kind of neat. But what I really liked about both teams this weekend is both teams were extremely professional. They were extremely scientific. There was a lot of debunking going on and a lot of stuff, and it was really cool. It was really neat because some of the things that they came up with it just blew my mind. For the first weekend of us being open, the feedback that we got was, wow, this place is really active. So it was really neat. It was kind of an incredible experience. I know we did some adjustments because originally we put our crew room on the 3rd floor, and Heath and Leanne were building a TV stand, so it's something to do. Everybody's doing, and Leanne dropped the stand, and the bench breaking bros like shh. So we ended up putting the what do you call it, the crew room or the staff room now on the 1st floor, right directly across the street or directly across the hall from the break room for the guests. So we wanted to make sure, and it was kind of neat because it was a trial and error kind of weekend. So we moved that, we got it out of the way, so now we don't contaminate any of their evidence because sometimes you do get a little loud, and we're joking around and kind of having a good time and didn't realize that it's really echoes. So we put us down on the 1st floor now and got out of their way, and it was really good. It's a great location for us too, and it's kind of centrally located next to the bathroom, so when we see the teams we can kind of keep an eye on, make sure everybody's doing good. And so it was a great weekend.
Excellent.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Excellent. That is super to hear. I got to tell you something, even though all the years that I've been at Octagon Hall, I understand what you're talking about when you have the team come in and they're asking you all these questions and you're like going, yeah, we've had so much stuff. And well, what have you experienced? And I start telling them, and I'm like going, well, wait a minute. What happens if they just have one of those nights where nothing happens? And they're going to look at me like going, oh, what a pitch man he is, Well,
and especially in a new location, because we're trying to build the reputation up and we're trying to get the name out there. We're trying to get people interested. And, if we did have a weekend where 2 teams came in on a Friday, Saturday on a kind of an inaugural weekend and absolutely nothing happened, that carries back to the paranormal. And a lot of people are like, oh, don't go waste your money on that location.
Right, exactly. But it didn't. Yeah.
And unfortunately, we all know that it's not always that case. I mean, you can go to Octagon Hall, you can go to OSPH, you can go to Waverly, you can go anywhere and have a bad night.
Oh, that's exactly true.
Locations and be to the point where you're like, holy crap, So
yeah.
My biggest thing is I was really hoping that they would get some good piece of evidence so that they could just kind of get the ball rolling and get people interested in the new location. And everybody I talked to, they left smiling. I mean, both teams already booked like another trip down because full body apparitions on the first night.
That's excellent. That's excellent. You can't beat that. That's like good.
So it's like we got really excited, and the bench breaking broads got some names. They kind of coordinated some of the things that we knew about some of the deaths that happened in the building with the nurses, and so there was a lot of coordination. And when they went in with this group, we didn't give them anything. Like both teams, like these are locations where this person was and that person was, or where the activity was, but we didn't give names of the nurses, or we didn't give any kind of our experiences of what happened. And it was really, really neat because they came back with names, and we all looked at each other like, holy cow, like that's who was there. And so it was a neat weekend. I have, unfortunately, this is the first time I ever did it because with OSPH it was already established. So, I purchased it. I walked in. It already had a reputation. Everybody knows that OSPH is a pretty active location. This is new. This is from the ground up. This was, I've got 40-some volunteers there who all worked their tails off to get this baby cleaned up. And, so we're all a little bit hesitant, like, oh, what are they going to find? What's going to happen? And it didn't disappoint at all. I mean, it's kind of really exciting. So,
that's awesome. I love to hear it, and that's the magic of the paranormal, and it is when what other activity did they have? I mean, right off the bat, you're talking full body apparitions. I mean,
so we had the group. I'm going to get this probably wrong because my memory. I mean, to kind of the preface it back is that we had a roof issue, a real bad one. That basically is in one of the elevator shafts that when the hospital was actually open, instead of them fixing the elevator shaft, they kind of duct taped it. And I mean, literally duct tape it.
Oh.
The last 13 years, it's been pouring water into the building, and it's the main part of the building. So we had put up, a roof up there to begin with, and we didn't properly do it. There wasn't quite enough pitch on it. So we had some water running backwards. So we wanted to make sure that we did it right. So we were up on the roof for, I think, 3.5 days straight. That's where this beautiful Tennessee tan is.
Oh, there you go.
But we were up there, and it was brutal. It was hot, and I mean, it was to the point where we were all kind of screaming and yelling at each other because we were getting irritated, and it was. But we got it done in time. We opened up, and all that other stuff, and so they had come in, and we were already tired and kind of exhausted. And like I said, it was kind of a really hectic weekend. But right off the bat, one of the girls was walking down the major hallway. There's a hallway that pretty much spans the whole city block. And I think if you look on our Facebook page, I think we got a picture or two of it. I think Leanne's put some pretty good pictures on there. But it's as far as the eye can see. I mean, at night, it looks like it just goes on forever. And they had come in, and it was about 7:00, I think, Eastern time by the time we were done with walking them through the, and one of the girls comes running down. She goes, "I'm playing peekaboo with one of the spirits." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And we had a spirit that the whole team saw that just kept kind of looking around the corner at her.
Well, that sounds like another place I know.
Yeah, it was really neat. And that started the night. And then there were footsteps, and they heard people coming up and down the staircase. One of the coolest things that happened on Saturday night with the bench breaking broads, and this was just remarkable. And I saw the look on her face when it happened. So they were doing a thing where one of the bench breaking broads had fallen over, and she says, "Help, I need help, I need help." And on audio, you hear somebody running to her to help her.
Really? That is cool.
Like somebody running down the hallway to help her. She said she felt the energy. She heard it. It really frightened her. She got up and kind of had to have a moment or two of herself and collect herself. But it was so loud and so distinct that, I mean, the audio is just, and they're going to release it to us, but it was just amazing. And they had all sorts
really
of
cool.
interaction.
That is cool.
There's nothing like that feeling you get when you know you're being bum rushed.
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely one of those oh shit moments. I don't care how scared you are.
Yeah, like Katie Turner would say, "Code Brown, Code Brown."
It was really neat too, because there wasn't any and this is the feedback I got from the groups. I mean, this isn't us, but there was no one specific area that was more active than the other. She said that the group said it was like crazy. It was like, they would go from one location to the next location, and one location was like, "Yeah, this is kind of fun," and then the next location was like, "Oh, watch this." And
wow.
then the next location, it was like it was like a building experience, and it just kept going on and on and on, and it was neat to hear. I mean, some of the things that they experienced were some of the things that my team and I did when we originally bought the building to make sure it was haunted or active. But like I said, it was just neat. It was neat to have some really good, solid teams in the building who kind of backed up that evidence that our team came up with, and to hear them say, "Oh yeah, we saw full body apparitions and shadow figures," so it was a great weekend. I mean, the team and I had a lot of fun. And
that is awesome. That's awesome. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And you've already got it looked up, and you've got a big your own grand opening coming up. Let's talk about that just for a second. Let's jump into that, and then I've got a question about this long hallway after that, because I'd sure like to know what was taken. Well, we can do that now. In fact, what's going on with that long hallway? What was it down in there, and where did it lead to? Was it some of the hospitals that I've been in have a tunnel system underneath the hospital that just takes you for miles and miles to get around places.
Well, this hospital is kind of I guess a lot of them are the same way. It was kind of unique is that we've done a lot of research, and Brooke and Leanne especially have done. I mean, their noses have been in books since we bought the hospital, and some of the information that we got out of the books is really cool. So the hospital, which actually was on Devonia Street, not on Roan Street. So when you're actually coming to the hospital, Roan Street was actually the back side of the building, and Devonia was actually the front side of the building when the hospital was first built. And if you look at the pictures, there's 14 windows that are actually on Devonia Street, which was the original hospital, and it was kind of in the middle of the what do you call it, the block.
Right.
Well, they just kind of built it out this way. It just kept expanding this way. So what happened was that instead of the hospital starting here, and going this way, it grew this way.
Oh, cool.
When they reached both ends of the block, they grew out this way. So the hospital, it's all cattywampus. When you're going through there, you're like, oh my God, I'm lost. The couldn't even find A3 after we took them around. So we're trying to figure out the exact times of like when the hospital was added onto, and we're kind of guessing just based off of like nobody really knows. Nobody really like has any information. The original hospital was built in 1938, opened in 1939. Then it looks like in maybe the mid 40s, there was another addition put on. And then in the 60s, there was another addition put on. Then in the 70s, another one. And then they went up in the 80s. And then in the 90s, they went over here. So it's kind of like they just kept adding on and on and on. And
wow.
It's kind of like OSPH. If anybody's been there, when you're walking through the Tri-City Clinic, and you know how there's that doorway that's kind of cattywampus, that if you walk into one and you smack your nose on it because they're well, this hospital's kind of got the same thing where you're walking down that long hallway and all of a sudden it's kind of shifted, or it's got an incline, or it's just really a unique building system the way they did it. They didn't really do anything; they just kind of sloped it. But that long hallway that we're talking about, when it had first opened, it was on the right-hand side, there were surgical suites, and then you had, the hospital. What's really kind of neat is that in the back of the building, they actually had a colored wing with the cafeteria.
Really?
And so they segregated the whites and the blacks actually had their own wing, which we thought was kind of neat. It was on the first floor, and it was actually behind the building instead of like, where it should have been with everybody else. So it was kind of different. Well, then what they did is, because the surgical suites kind of ran out of time, or ran out of their, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't big enough. They moved to the right, and they put more surgical suites into the right. And those, if you look on our Facebook page, those are the ones that have the beautiful green tile and all that other stuff. And then it looks like they went left. So then if you're walking down that hallway, you go through surgical suites, you go to, and I'm going to get this wrong and I'm going to get corrected by everybody online, but it goes to surgical suites, and then you go through day surgery, maternity, and then ICU, and then ICU became psych ward. And so the hospital has been redone like so many different times. And I think that's why it makes it really active, because the original ICU was on the first floor. Then it moved up to the second floor. Then it moved up to the fourth floor. Then everything's been shifted so many times that you got so much different activity around, and so many different areas of the hospital that have changed. And so it's confusing. I mean, I get confused all the time walking through there, giving a tour, and I have to have my team with me to make sure that I'm like, yeah, are we in maternity now, or are we in day surgery?
Well, how does it affect the activity by being in different years? Are you getting a different type of activity in the building part that's 1940 than you do in the building part that was added on in the 60s? Or do you see that happening yet, or is it too early yet to tell?
Well, this is the really bad thing is that my team and I, that are volunteers, we haven't even investigated the building. And I really mean this. I mean, a lot of people are like, yeah, sure. But we really haven't. So on the new part of the building, which was built in the 90s, it's a four-story building. And the second floor of the surgical suites and recovery, my team and I have never left that area. All the investigating we've ever done has been there, because it's been crazy active. I mean,
wow.
As well as residual. So we haven't really gotten out of that area. And we haven't really, that's a great question that I got to ask the teams for now on, if they're actually feeling like, if they're getting a different type of feel or anything like that. But it's just amazing. What amazes me the most is walking through, like you said, you can see when the HIPAA policy was in place, you've got rooms that have 3 beds in them. You got rooms that have 2 beds in them. And then you go over and you see where the HIPAA policy kind of came into play, and there's a 1 bed, and so it's neat because of the generational changes in healthcare. This building's got it all, from the 30s all the way to the 2013. So you see all the different generational healthcare differences, and I think that's what really makes it unique. But in terms of like the actual 40s and 50s. from my understanding, a lot of the doctors and nurses were there like for a long period of time. It was a really like another family kind of environment that a lot of these people actually, worked until the day they died. And we did find out that Joanna, which works at A3, she was the ICU nurse, cardiac nurse. She actually told the other nurses, she says, "This is where I'm going to die, and this is where I'm going to stay." And she's there. I mean, she communicates. The bench breaking broads were down there. We got a bunch of activity, got some names. So yeah, it's kind of neat to see all of
that. Excuse me.
In her defense, there's always work to be done.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's a little, I mean, healthcare workers nowadays, I mean, you talk to them and they work so many hours, I mean, they do that too. That's their home. And even, in afterlife or after death, a lot of these healthcare workers haven't left this building. I mean, and it was really unique. And this is something that's actually really, it was kind of really freaky to me, but we talked about this on the last show, is that when we were on the 4th floor, Robin and I were up there, and Robin and I both, somebody whispered into my ear, and she said, visiting hours are over, with a real stern kind of, and I heard it as plain as day, and I looked at Robin, I'm like, "Stop playing me," because it's dark, and I'm like, "Stop whispering at me." She's like, "That wasn't me."
It makes sense. That's something you would hear. That would be an obvious thing that would happen in that area, and depending on the time, it'd be the rest of the thing. And I know how you are with the history of the place, and I know Leanne is probably going through it like crazy, and that's the reason why I asked that question, because as you see different parts of the history, you're not going to see. I'm wondering if they all are traveling through the hospital all over the place, because you may see a full body apparition of someone that you can identify as, this is Dr. So-and-so or nurse so-and-so.
Right.
But she never goes to the 4th floor unless, that's kind of where I was going with that. Right. So,
so we can even throw something a little bit more into there, is that where A3 is, actually the Cumberland Hotel was. And
oh, wow.
into the late 1800s, into the early 1900s, before the hospital was built. And guess what? That hospital burned. And
gosh.
Some tragedy in it too. So add that hospital in there, plus then add the hotel that was prior to that. And you know that when you have residual hauntings, you have people walking through walls that,
exactly.
Or in the hotel. So
yeah,
kind of a unique town in the fact that its history is really kind of plagued. If it didn't burn down, it flooded. If it didn't flood, it got hit by a tornado. If it didn't get hit by a tornado, it went bankrupt and they destroyed the building. So Harriman has got a history of just really negative things happening to it, and
tons of tragedy. Plus, being in a hospital, I mean, the things that go on in that all the time, disease and everything else. Was there ever a run of a certain kind of disease that actually happened there in the hospital that some people may have experienced, even the one that burnt down?
Yeah, that I don't know. We're still trying to see. The problem is that we're running into is that Harriman Hospital still has a lot of people who are still in the healthcare field. They left Harriman Hospital to go to the Roane County Medical Center. They don't want to talk. That's very personal to them, and we respect that. And they just don't want to share those kind of things. And we all know that the medical field, back then didn't really have a computer. They didn't really take a lot of notes. So it's kind of like you only get that information from people who have witnessed it. And we do have a couple of people on our staff who actually worked there, but they came after like that point in time. So the history has been tricky to get, and we're working on it. I know that Brooke and Leanne are working on it very diligently to try and reach out to people. But we're also fighting an area where they're not familiar with paranormal investigating, and there's still that error of they think we're doing things that we shouldn't.
Right, exactly.
We gain the trust of the town in that area. They're a little tight-lipped, and I don't blame them.
Mm-hmm.
You got somebody like that guy walking around, ZB, and everything's possession and everything's this and that. There can be that feeling that we're not in it for the right reasons. And I think the city is just kind of sitting back, waiting for us to, to explain to them exactly what we're doing in this field and that we're doing research. We're not conjuring up,
exactly.
They think that we're doing.
Exactly.
So it's a challenge of making sure that we do everything correctly and that we bring in the right, the right people. And that's why we try to do all that.
One of the things about Harriman is a very strange place. Doesn't it have three rivers that all come together right there at Harriman?
Yeah, they had the flood of 29, I believe, and I know Leanne Saturday, but they had the flood. It basically wiped out the whole downtown.
Right.
It was pretty amazing. I mean, that it was gone. It just swept away everything.
Yeah.
And Leanne's stating right now that you guys will not share anything until it's confirmed.
Right.
Which is one of the great things that we really love about you guys.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, we learned that from OSPH. I mean, we want to make sure that
there was a lot of stuff to clean up as far as the history went with OSPH, and
we want to do it. We want to justify it. We don't want to put out things that we are 100% sure about because it only discredits us. It discredits us as a paranormal community, as well as my reputation. And we don't want to do that. We want to do this the right way and make sure that when Bear asks me a question about this or that or whatever, I want to make sure that I'm accurate. So that I'm not saying, oh yeah, this was it. And then we find out, a month later that, oh God, I was really wrong.
Yeah.
That's when you turn around and say, well, there's things we can't talk about yet.
Right.
Because we hear that all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But it just makes sense that, and is the hospital close to the rivers?
It's not too far away. Like I said, I haven't spent, and this is really sad. We've been going to Harriman for a year now, cleaning it up, and I haven't been around town yet. I haven't really left downtown. We did drive down. There's a rehab facility that was downtown that's been closed down for a little ways. That's kind of in the foothills of one of the mountains up there. It's a beautiful building. They're rehabbing it to make it a geriatric center again. We got to tour that, which was really kind of neat. But really, that's about it. We hit Sonic, we Sonic, Little Caesars, the local downtown pizza, those kind of places. But we really, really haven't investigated or really gotten around, the town because we've been so busy and so intent on making sure that we wanted a good showing for Harriman for this last weekend. People walked in, they were impressed by what we're doing, not walking in like we talked about in the last show, going, "Oh my God, watch that roof!" You know what I mean? We really put our hearts and souls into what we did, and the team, like I said, tirelessly worked to get it open and to get it fixed. And
that is so awesome.
Yeah. As was stated on the last show too, we know that as time progresses and you continue to make your improvements and everything, the town is going to be more open to it because it's going to bring business to the town, and tourism is a great thing,
right?
For the local communities.
Well, that was really important because one of the teams that we had this weekend, we all went out for dinner. They all got tattoos in the town of Harriman. They all got little ghost tattoos on their wrists. We figured out that each one of them probably spent in the upwards of about $800 to $850 per person. With the hotel room, with everything they spend in Harriman, and there were 6 of them. That's $5,000 that they brought.
Yeah, that's great.
Economy for one day. I mean, it's a considerable amount of money, that wasn't there before we opened up the hospital.
Right.
So I think that's really good. I think that's really good for the community. And like you said, once people realize that we are bringing people in from across the nation, and when you guys come out in a couple of months and all that other stuff, I mean, we're flying out Richard Estep from Colorado. He'll be there in June. These are all people who are coming to Harriman who have intent on, like you said, eating, drinking, doing all those things that make an economy strong in Tennessee. And that's really important for a town that's starting to repopulate itself and redevelop itself.
Fantastic. I love it when a good plan comes together and you can help us, help the city, and in the way that we do the history of it.
Crystal, who are you talking to?
We have
there's a tattoo parlor.
The tattoo parlor in Harriman that you're talking about is right behind City Hall, which is a block from the hospital.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
walking distance is what she said.
Yeah. So you can literally go get yourself a tattoo of Harriman, or if you want to put my name on your wrist, you can put.
There you go.
But then come do your ghost hunt. After you have some downtown pizza or whatever you're gonna do. It is a really quaint little town. There's a lot going on downtown. And it's going to grow and develop as we grow and develop. And talking to some of the industrial board people and some of the city council people, they want to make the town of Harriman kind of like Savannah, Georgia. I mean, and that's kind of what that grew at. Was that paranormal kind of environment.
So you said you're going to have a raffle, and whoever bids the highest, you'll go and get the tattoo of Ober on your butt cheek.
Of Billy?
No.
Oh.
H.
Ooh.
Oh, well, that's actually kind of good. Oh.
Well, last time we talked, you guys were planning on some pretty cool ideas as far as events go. I want to go back to that because it sounds like you guys might have an idea for a Carrie-ish type event.
Well, the paranormal is a lot of fun. I mean, it is. It really is. I enjoy it. I love it. But we want to do some things that are a little outside of that box too. So the girls came up with something that we thought was really cool, and we're going to do what's called a bloody prom. And I think they called it. I hope I don't get this wrong because I will get slapped next time in Tennessee. But I think it's a night to dismember. Am I right?
Oh.
So basically,
Night to dismember.
So basically, right across town or right across the street is City Hall, and above City Hall they have a beautiful ballroom that they just got done putting in. So what we want to do is we want to do dinner, dancing, a not to dismember. Oh gosh, we want to do dinner, dancing, and what we want to do is we want to make it kind of fun. We want to make sure that it's paranormal, but we want to do it too so that people of the paranormal community come in and we do more than just investigate. That we get together, we have a good night together, we eat, we drink, not drink, sorry, we eat, we dance, we do those kind of things, and we come together as a community. And then after we're done with the prom thing, we go across the street, we do investigating, and we kind of learn off of each other's ways that we do things. Because one of the things that I really enjoy is I enjoy when the groups come to the buildings, and I love watching the way they investigate. Because no two people do it the same. I just will tell you, though, that if you're provoking my spirits, I'm going to kick you out. That's one thing we don't allow. So Zach, stay home. But the thing is that, like I said, it's really, really kind of neat to get everybody together and then go across the street into a 168,000 square foot building. And all of us kind of mesh our ideas and work together in the paranormal community to kind of advance it and to do that and to do something fun. Because I think there's just too much seriousness in the paranormal. Let's have some fun. Let's eat, let's dance, and let's get to know each other as people and not get to know each other as, well, that group got better evidence than our group did, or you know what I mean? Let's really come together.
Well, Ronnie, we know. I mean, you and your staff, it's always about having a good time. I mean,
that is.
I understand there won't be no hide and seek at O because it's too big. And even the staff still gets lost. Correct?
We will. We're working on that. We're working on different things because the nice thing about O is that it's one of those deceiving buildings like OSPH where, and even the bench breaking broads, when they were there, they pull up and like, where's the rest of the building? Because it's that hospital that you pull up to and this much of it shows from the main street. And then you walk in and it's like it goes on forever. And then when you think it's not done, you're like, oh my God, there's more. And then there's more. So, but one thing I do have to tell you guys though is that in the summer months, the staircases are extremely steep and it is pretty warm in there. So everybody that comes in from June until September, we put you on a scale. And for every pound you lose while you're doing your investigation, it's just a $10 fee. And you make that check out to OHH.
I love it. I'm going to be in debt.
You're also increasing their health.
Exactly.
Cardio.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Billy comes in weighing $160 and leaves weighing $125.
Yep.
So
Yep.
times so that's another $85 you owe me, Billy.
Yeah.
And just watch Bear melt away. It gets
Well,
warm,
that was
man, and I
great,
sweat
Cal.
like a horse. So it's just like going, ooh wee.
Well, you know what? I would rather be sweating than freezing
I
because
agree.
you know, in this business, in this field, you're doing one or the other. You're either freezing to death or you're sweating to death.
Mhm.
There's no happy medium.
I agree. Well, and especially in Tennessee, I noticed that yesterday it was 40 degrees and all of a sudden it's like 90.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you don't like the weather,
Right.
wait 5 minutes.
Yeah, it literally changed. I mean, I was there 2 weeks ago and I think it was in the 40s, and then we're on the roof yesterday. It was 85 degrees. I'm like, oh my God, overnight it like literally changed 40 degrees. But the nice thing about Tennessee is like I think the temperatures at night were like in the 50s. So you open up the windows and you go out front and you cool down and then you go back in and do some more investigating. So yeah, Tennessee is a really unique. I love the state. It's just such a nice state in terms of temperature and all of other good stuff. And of course the people in Tennessee are just amazing.
Y'all come on down. The water's fine.
It's
right?
the South. That's all it is to it. It's down home. Good people who enjoy what they do and enjoy their town. Love to talk about it. Love to have people come and enjoy it. And just like you do but now with both of your locations, and they're very special things. You know, and all the community does get behind it. You know, since here. What I've seen since the old stone jail has opened up here is that the town becomes more and more and more, and you get more and more people into it, and it's always that kind of thing. And it's just great. I love to see that camaraderie. I love to see that kind of stuff. We help each other out. We do the things we need to do. It's not a competition. It's just about having good fun, seeing good things, and talking about the paranormal, what that's going on. Because when you do that, everybody's learning. Everybody gets the opportunity to be able to do things. And such a special thing, you know. And as you start bringing this place around, and I'm looking to see if certain people are going to be traveling from, or spirits are going to be traveling from Old South to Harriman.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Are they going back and forth between the two with you guys?
Dr. Taylor making appearances?
Well, that is kind of a unique question because, and I know that Terry's on here, Steven's on here, and we have a bunch of volunteers that are on here. And we were at Harriman one night, and Dr. Taylor definitely made an appearance in the building. You know, you can smell his smoke, you can feel his presence. I think, and they'll probably know better than I would. I think it was only once or twice, and I think he went back home. But I know, like I said, one of the things that I thought was really, really unique is getting back to that story on the phone to you, is that we had seen the lady. I mean, I had saw her up there. She was pretty plain as day. I know that I was in my house one night and I was sleeping and I woke up to a woman in my room and she had said, "What are you doing with my hospital?" And I was like,
wow.
I wasn't sure if I dreamt it or whatever. Well, we have a girl, her name is Heather Hall, and she worked at the hospital, and she's been really, really helpful to us. Well, she sent me a picture of the ICU nurse, and I nearly dropped dead. It was her.
Wow.
I mean, like I said, it was something that I told my staff that I'll never forget. And so talking to Heather and about the nurse, what happened with her is she died pretty early. I think she was in her late 50s. She went over to the rehab center that was in Harriman, and so she knew of her, and she knew of her attitude. And when Rob and I talked, she was a very bossy woman. This is my ICU, everything that she was saying. So when I talked to Heather, she was like, "Oh yeah, she was a bossy woman. She fit it to the T." And then she showed me the picture. I'm like, "Oh my God, that's the woman that was at the foot of my bed." Basically telling me, "What are you doing with our hospital?" So it's really, really neat that we've been reached out by some of the spirits that are in the hospital because they're inquisitive in terms of what we're going to do with it. And she was one of the spirits on the fourth floor. And I believe one of the two teams, either Friday or Saturday night, came in contact with her, and she was that same bossy woman that she was with us. So it's kind of neat. Really, it's kind of a cool situation, kind of a cool experience. So
It is.
and I think too, now that we're doing what we're doing with the hospital, I think it's becoming more and more active and more open, because I think a lot of the spirits were really like, what are they doing? What's going on? Are they tearing it down? Or are they fixing it? And I think we're starting to gain the trust of even the spirits of the building. I know Rhonda, when she walks in, she's, hi guys, hi. Our team is very, very hands-on, very approaching the spirits, kind of make them come out. And Rhonda does a great job of that. And so I think we're going to have a pretty gem of a paranormal research center here in Harriman. At least that's what
Excellent. Excellent. It's always important to, those spirits, that is their place. Even though you're the owner, you're the president of it, it doesn't mean that they have accepted that. That's their home. So you're always walking in and you're always going, good morning, how y'all doing? What's going on? And, can I help you with anything? Do you need anything? All that kind of stuff. You're just having a conversation with them. Other people that walk into the hall and hear me doing that, I think they all think that I'm, my cracker slid off, but, because they always think I'm talking to them.
Right.
But, it's just stuff that we just do. Going back to Dr. Taylor showing up there, and I just had this thought going through my mind, and I want to share it with you and see what you think about it. Doctors and nurses used to travel to hospitals for certain occasions. Do you ever think that Dr. Taylor might have gone over there for once or twice, and then so in some manners he may feel comfortable floating over there and then coming back? Same thing with the nursing staff.
Yeah, I think it's very possible. And in that time era, there was a lot of doctors that went from hospital to hospital. And I think there's a good possibility. I think there could also be a good possibility that he might just be jealous. Where you
right. Right. You're leaving me behind. What's going on?
Like I said to you before, Ronnie, I said,
you're cheating.
I can't wait to get there, but I do feel a little guilty with Lady O. Love you, Lady O. Dr. Taylor follows crystal all over the place. Okay.
It's a real challenge, owning two locations, because I will tell you that everything I do, I put my heart into. I mean, I'm 110%, into what I'm doing. OSPH has that really big, special part in my heart, because I think it was my first. It was in the paranormal, just doing what I was doing. I had a lot of firsts in the paranormal experience wise. So it always has a really, really tight knit, whatever you want to call it, with me. OHH is a second close. It's a close second. But like you said, it's kind of like, oh my God, it's kind of like, losing your virginity to the first person that you've ever been with. It's that special, you've got that special tie with it. And OSPH has always been that way with me. But OHH has got a lot to offer, and it's a neat building. And like I said, the spirits are going to have to realize that, I love them all. I love both buildings. And I try to separate my time or try and keep equal times in both buildings. And but OSPH is definitely my home. I mean, at the end of the day, that's my home. That's where I feel the most comfortable. That's where I feel like I belong. And I think a lot of my team that crosses over and does OSPH and OHH, I think they would tell you the same thing, that they love OHH, but OSPH is always going to be their home. I mean, so many of us, we cut our teeth on that building. And, like Stephen just said, there's just nothing like it. I mean,
no, Steve, there's not, buddy.
It's got that feeling. But you know what? Variety is the spice of life. And we investigate OSPH a lot, and it's time, to investigate another location. It's time to, to move on and to do things, but not let OSPH obviously fall apart or anything like that, because she's still the love of my life. And that's something that we still got to keep going with. But,
and we know that she's not being deprived.
Oh, no.
She's got lots of company.
Oh yeah.
That's for sure.
But with that
That's
being
for
said, I'm willing to bet you're getting a lot of attention with O.
Oh yeah. And like we said when we talked about, we talked about both buildings. I think what's really unique about this is that I think both buildings are showing off against each other, because we do have a lot of crossover. Like Leanne and Crystal and or Brooke. Sorry, I'm reading names on here, but Brooke and Steve and Terry and Daniel and Darla. There's a lot of crossover from our volunteers. So you know what I mean? So it's kind of a power struggle between two hospitals in terms of, well, why are you guys leaving us behind? Well, we'll show them. And I think really like Heather has stepped up. We have a Heather that stepped up a lot at OSPH in my absence. And she's been there a lot, doing a lot of day tours, running cameras. I mean, she's been tirelessly working there. A lot of the volunteers have stepped up because, OHH, we have to get it up and running. And then once it's up and running, then it's a lot easier for me to be able to go back and forth. But really the focus right now is just making OHH safe. And like I said, making it a great place to investigate. Then once we get to that point where we're comfortable, then it's maintaining both and doing that kind of stuff. And, but yeah, never stop building and working on both of the buildings and keeping the spirits happy at both locations.
Hey, I'm in the chat room for the first time, really, to take a look at it. Hello, chat room, and how's everything doing? But I came in at the end, and I love it. Crystal Brooke Harvey has a great line in here. It says, "We'd love to make Ronnie dress up. We need to start a petition."
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody laughs at me, but I've been self-employed since I was 19 years old. I have never been outside of a t-shirt and jeans or shorts my whole life. As a matter of fact, my family, when there's a graduation or there's, something special going on, they're like, "So which pair of nice shorts are you wearing today?" So everybody kind of makes fun of me because, at the prom, everybody's going to dress up and all that other stuff. I'm like, well, I'll have to find my unstained pair of blue jeans to go. And everybody's like, "Oh no, this is a formal attire." But yeah, my whole life I've kind of dressed like a slob. I'm not going to lie. And mostly primarily because the fields I've always been in, fixing roofs and doing that kind of a thing, or getting wet with, shipping fish or whatever. It's always been, I've never been required to wear a suit or tie or, anything really nice. So everybody kind of makes fun of me because I've kind of never had to. So I know last Halloween.
It's all overrated, Ronnie.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Oh, we're getting some great comments on that. Stephen just put down here, Jack Sparrow meets Freddy Krueger. I love it.
Leanne said Dumb and Dumber.
Dumber.
I just want to know, who's the dumber? Is it me or Steven?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to go through here and say hi to a few people. Hey, Mike Walker, how you doing? It's great to have you here tonight. Leanne Rogers, of course, you're in here. Terry Lynn Johnson. Tara, how you doing, sweetheart? It's great to have you here tonight. And Terry, well, let's see what else we got in here. I'm not doing too good. Tracy Lund is in here. And Brendan Rossi, how you doing, Brendan? Good to see you tonight also. Thank you all for coming into the chat room. We appreciate you very much. And hope you're having a good show, and I hope you're enjoying it. And Ronnie, I got to ask you now, what the heck's going on in the future here? You got some big stuff planned, and we got to get that out so we all know what's going on. And so everybody gets an opportunity to get to come to both of your locations, because you're juggling two of them, and I know you got stuff going on in one hand and one stuff going on in the other hand. So
I knew you were going to put me on the spot on this.
Leanne,
This is where you
Leanne, here's your
yeah.
Where's Leanne? Leanne, get on here, Leanne. She's kind of our event coordinator, and she does all the bookings. Send her the link. Let's get her on here. Come on, Leanne. Come on. Send her
Come on, Leanne. And we just saw, I just see Casey Shrugs in there. How you doing, Casey? Good to see you.
Casey.
So I know today that we just, come on, Leanne. So today we just released tickets. So May 27th, we're going to do our first public investigation. It's kind of a meet and greet. I think tickets are $45 plus tax, so it works out to be like $48. And basically, JB Coates will be there. My OHH team will be there. My OSPH team will be there. It's kind of an introduction to OHH. It's just a very limited engagement. It's from 7 to midnight. But it's primarily just to get people. Number one, it's kind of a training night because we have a bunch of new people who have to learn our style of doing the public investigations, taking from location to location. Excuse me. So come on, Leon. So we're going to do that on May 27th. And like I said, beyond that, I'm blank. I know that I think June 11th, Mr. See, I'm having a brain aneurysm here. Mr. Richard Estep will be at OHH, I believe, on June 11th. And he will be actually, this is exciting to me, but he will actually be rolling out the OSPH book. He wrote a book about OSPH. So he's going to do the signing of that, which I'm really excited for because I got to read a little bit of it tonight. It's pretty damn good. So that's pretty cool. It's represented in a very good light. He debunks a lot of stuff. He also puts in there a lot of stuff that happened to him while he was investigating the hospital. Richard spent a whole week in the hospital investigating and then kind of doing a bunch of stuff. So I'm really excited. And I will tell you, Richard and Steph and I have become pretty decent friends. We talk quite frequently. He's a hell of a guy. If anybody hasn't met him in person and anybody hasn't had an event with him, probably one of the most sincere men I have ever met in the paranormal and is out for the good of the paranormal. I mean, really just a phenomenal guy, just phenomenal. I think we have, Leon, help me here. We have the Ghost Hunters at OSPH. And I want to say that's June 18th. Am I right, Leon?
I think her heart probably stopped because I sent her the link.
Come on. Hey, Heath, tell Leon to get on here. Come on, Leon. Come on. Come on, Leon.
First time for everything.
Help her get on here. Everybody in the chat room. Come on,
Yes. Leanne. We want Leanne.
Come on, Leanne. It's really easy. Just press that little link. Come on. Put on an OSPH t-shirt and get on here. But I want to say, and I think she said that was June 18th. And then we have a back. Oh, God. I think
Fairy dog.
I think August 5th and 6th. We start with the Wraith Chasers at Harriman on Friday night, and then they're going to do Saturday at OSPH. So it's a double bill. That's going to be a lot of fun. Sunday, I'm not going to be able to walk. I'll be dead. But I think, and like I said, I wish Leanne would come on here because I really wanted her to talk about the prom thing because that was really her and Brooke's idea. And they've got some really cool things that they want to do and accomplish with that. And come on, Leanne.
Yeah, come on, Leanne, let's go. If we can make your
clickety click.
Yeah.
Come on,
Heath. As harmless as can be.
Hold her down, Heath.
Yeah.
That button.
Yeah, that's it.
I really do. It was her and Brooke kind of came up with this really cool concept for prom. I think it'll be a really, really kind of a neat idea. I know that we have Brian and Rochelle there. I know that we have, I believe, the Searchers. Josh Purvis is going to be there. And then, of course, our staff from both locations. It's just going to be a lot of fun. And I think that's really the key to it is that it's just going to be a fun night of eating and dancing. And,
The power of Christ compels you, Leanne.
That was great, Casey.
She says it won't let her. Nerves won't let her.
This is an example of how incredibly awesome this paranormal world can be, and just everybody. I mean, that's Casey. That's just awesome.
That is.
Come on, Leanne. Oh, she's trying. Come on, Leanne.
Try it again. Send the link again.
I'll send it again.
Yep.
Just don't put it in the comments. You'll get blocked off the Facebook again.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can put it in the comments, or they'll put me in Facebook jail.
Yeah, we get too many problems with. I can't. I'm not even going to say anything about that. We'll just.
Yeah. How
We'll
about
just-
the volunteers, Leanne?
Yeah, exactly.
Sent again.
And you know what? It's really funny because Leanne, no, Leanne, but it was really
No, yeah, exactly. No. Leanne's doing it.
Apex
Can
Paranormal.
Brooke do it?
We had Apex Paranormal come out, and they did Paraflix, were season 1 or season 2, episode 1 on Paraflix, and Leanne was part of the whole interview process. And I will tell you, she does a great job. I mean, they were interviewing her. She answers the questions, very animated. I mean, she is really, really good at this. Her and Brooke are really good at it, and they're so camera shy, and I don't get it because they're really, really good at it.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody loves you guys.
Absolutely.
Jump on in. You know, the bad thing about it is, though, we may be creating a monster because now we get her to come in all the time with you, and then it will be like.
That was a good one, Brooke.
Witness protection.
Yes.
Come on, Casey, you got to compel her. Oh, so Casey said that Apex airs on Friday, and I will tell you, I got to watch it. One of the things that we've done at OSPH, and I think we want to do it primarily.
Oh, hey, this is excellent.
Hello, everyone.
Is she coming?
I think so. We're just waiting for a picture to come through.
She's in the studio, but she's got to add her.
Listen to the silence. Everybody's like, "Come on, man."
Yeah, this is it. Oh, okay, something's happening now. Hang on there, Leanne.
You guys, she's gonna kill me next time she sees me.
I think I see her. I think you know what? You know what I think she's done? I think she's sitting in the dark with the camera running. Yep. I can see her eyes.
Yeah, the lights off. We see the eyebrow.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, we're gonna bring her. Hi, Leanne. Oh, did I scare her off?
No, she's just sitting in the dark.
Leanne, can you hear us?
It's a school night.
It's like watching a little orb or a UFO fly around the area.
Dust.
Hey, Heath, if you're there, you need to put your sunlight flashlight on her.
He's not here. He's at work.
Oh, he's at.
Oh, darn.
So what do you want me to be on here for again?
Just
I don't know.
She's done lost everything.
I know.
yeah.
We got her so stressed out. We don't know what
Okay.
to do.
Yeah. Give us some
so-
dates,
so-
Leanne.
So May the 27th at Harriman. It's the sneak peek investigation. And, okay, hold on.
You can't read in the dark, can
Okay, June the 11th is our grand opening with Richard E. Stepp at Harriman. But actually on June the 10th, we have a free roam Friday at OSPH. And then June the 18th at Old South is the Ghost Hunters, Rochelle and Brian. And what else is there? I'm drawing a blank.
August.
Oh, August the 5th in Harriman, we will have the Wraith Chasers. And then on Saturday the 6th, we're going to have them at OSPH. And what else?
Now talk about the prom, girl. This is all yours.
Oh, the prom. Well, I need Brooke on here. Get Brooke in here. Come on down, Brooke. The prom will, well, do I announce the date yet, Ronnie, or can I do that? Or?
Yeah, we can. We booked the what do you call it? The hall. So you're good.
Okay, so on October the 15th, we're going to have a night to dismember. It's going to be a bloody prom. We're going to probably start at around 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock for like dinner and dancing across the street. And then from, I think, 11 until, is it 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, Ronnie? We're going to
When everybody gets tired and they want to go home.
Yeah, exactly. Go across the street into the hospital and investigate.
Hmm.
And
Sounds
so
awesome.
I think that we're going to have food. We're going to have dancing. Ronnie's going to dress up. Let's see here.
I think everybody's just going to show up to see me dressed up.
And you did say with the
want you to
prom,
dress
there's
up.
going to be a prom.
A king and queen.
Yep.
Yes,
When
there will
is
be a
that prom gonna
king and
be?
Queen. Yes.
October 15th.
October the 15th at Harriman. And we're going to have talent there. I think that Brian and Rochelle will be at that also.
Mhm.
Now, are we going to have the official grand opening? Well, I guess the official grand opening is on June 11th, but we were going to have another event in Harriman on October 7th and the 8th, but are we just going to move that to the 15th,
Just to the
Ronnie?
15th, yeah. Just to the 15th.
Say what?
Just to the 15th, yeah.
Okay. So that's all. Have a good day.
It's good to hear your voice.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for this. So, yeah.
Well, one step at a time. One step at a time. You did great.
I
You
do
did
a lot
great.
better
Dude.
when Brooke's with me. Like, I don't
Well,
get
we
as
did
nervous
send
when
Brooke.
she's
We
on.
did send her the link.
Uh-huh.
You did?
Uh-huh.
Brooke, come on, Brooke. I don't think she's going to get on. Yeah. But you'll be there on June the 11th. See, I'm saying January. I don't even know what month it is. I'm that nervous right now. June the 11th. Night Stalkers will be there, right?
If I'm not mistaken, it'll be Richard Estep,
The Fearless Ones.
the Fearless Ones, Jason,
Just-
Jeremy. We will be joining. There
June
you go.
11th.
And JB.
JB.
Yep.
Yep.
JB.
And more. More.
Where's JB Coates at?
I know. She'd be great on here.
Oh, she is great, and she's a hoot. You know what, Ronnie? Now when you look at the hospital, once again we've got the picture of the front of the building, and you can't see the distance of the building,
Right.
and it does look like a very small place. They're going like, wow, I'll have this investigated in like 3 hours. No, that's
How many
super.
square
That's
feet
just the
again?
front.
That's
What's the
super.
square footage again?
168,000 square feet.
Wow,
That's a big building. It's
that's a big building. That's a big building.
And how much was OSPH?
68,000 square feet. It's
Yeah.
almost 3 times the size. And I know
Oh,
that
yeah.
I asked the girls that when
Yeah.
we did the walkthrough, it takes us about 40 minutes to walk through OSPH when we're doing kind of the, what do you call it, the introduction. It's a good hour and 20 minutes. The building's that big.
Mhm.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, it is really intimidating when you look down that one city block hallway. I mean, it literally looks like it goes on forever. I mean, you're halfway through and you're like, oh my God, I'm only halfway through. It's a big building. So kind of fun.
We cannot wait.
I know.
Definitely looking forward to that
So
night.
we'll have great calves after that night, right?
I talked to Richard a step today. He had called me because we were talking about the book, and he's really excited to be here too. So he's really looking forward to coming down to the new hospital, and we're really excited to have him. So he's a great guy. He taught us a lot of things. He's the one who taught us how to do the human pendulum, and he taught us so many different things in the paranormal. So it'd be good to have him back and introduce him to everybody who hasn't met him before.
Well, another great thing about having him there, guys, if the cardio gets to be too much for you, guess what?
We have an EMT.
Richard's an EMT.
There you go. And
Upstairs, be prepared.
yep, and I should be good to go. I hope we have new wheels by the time I come down there, because Monday I'm going in to have some work done on me, so I should be A-okay by then.
Oh yeah. Because
Awesome.
there's a lot of stairs in that building. Like I said, what do we charge, Leanne? It's $5 per pound, or is it $10
He
per
said it was
pound?
$10.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, oh boy. But it's like going to Old South Pittsburg. I got to tell you, Ronnie's that kind of guy. He always goes, Bear, you got third floor. Barry got third floor.
Well, we'll be nice to you guys, and we'll put you in A3 this time, so there won't be as many stairs to walk, but it's just the whole city block.
Block, right?
So we'll put somebody else on I don't know, somewhere, but I know that JB
I love it.
want to do the ER or the ORs because that seems to be her specialty in that area. So
Yeah,
it's really up to you guys. I mean, that's what really makes this fun is investigating different.
You know us, Ronnie. We'll
We
do
don't
whatever
care.
you need.
I
us to
mean,
do.
yeah. We're gonna go anywhere.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and who knows? Maybe it'll get to the point where I can walk around that place in the dark just like I can OSPH.
Oh, the nice thing about it is a straight shot. I mean, it's not real windy like OSPH is. It's a pretty straight shot. And I know that there's a couple areas that we don't have open yet because of that elevator shaft. And hopefully this time next year, well, hopefully it's spring. The spring of next year, we'll have the whole building open because what we're missing right now, what really isn't open, and help me, Leanne, but I think we don't have X-ray open, right? The
X-ray is not open. The original lab. The first floor patient rooms in the old part, the original pharmacy, the cafeteria. Dietary is not open yet.
Yeah. So, and then the old ER.
Old ER.
Yeah, there are some areas. Thank you, Brooke. There are some areas that the roof is it's really in bad shape, and so we're going to work diligently on getting that taken care of. But we all know Tennessee right now with the temperatures being out there, and we're going to try and get those fixed so that this time next year we'll be able to investigate some of those areas. We have an MRI room too, which is actually really kind of cool. The MRI machine is gone, but all of the kind of paraphernalia is still in there, so it's kind of a neat room. But yeah, so hopefully we'll take care of all those areas.
Leanne, while we got you on here, for those that are wanting, how are bookings going, and how do people go about getting in?
Great question.
Well, you can either call the number that's on the Old Historic Harriman Hospital page. You can message the page as well, or you can send an email. And most of the time, almost all the time, Ronnie is the one that that does the majority of the bookings. But you can message the Facebook page or call. I'm sorry, my kids are yelling in the background.
Oh, don't worry about it. Go ahead.
Good.
We got bugs
But
snoring here.
just go to Old Historic Harriman Hospital on Facebook, and you'll see the email address as well as the phone number, or just message the page for bookings. But they're going well. As of now, I think every weekend in June is booked up right now.
What about OSPH?
Pardon?
Oh.
What did you say?
What about bookings for OSPH?
Oh, go to Haunted Old South Pittsburg Hospital, and the phone number is on there as well, the email address, or you can message the page as well.
Fantastic.
And we're actually booked up until 2023 on Saturdays, so we don't have a Saturday open until next year at Old South.
Hey, that's excellent. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
And then
I'm sure it won't be long, and Harriman will be the same way.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're working on the website for Old Harriman Hospital will be oldharrimanhospital.com, I believe. So we're working on that. We've just all been working so hard getting the hospital ready. So
I'm sure.
it's kind of step by step, but we'll have a page where you can directly book through the Old Harriman Hospital website. And then, like Leanne said, you can also book OSPH directly through ospHprc.com. So either way, you can do them either way.
And of course, everybody keep your eyes out for the public events that they announce, because you never know when they're going to put them out there.
Because you're going to be there. That's what's most important. We're going to paranormal with
We're going to
us.
be there.
Yes.
Here, so we're looking forward to it. And I will tell you, when you guys are in the house, we have a great time, don't we, Leanne?
Yes, we do. We always look forward to y'all coming out.
We always look forward to hanging out with you guys.
We love you guys.
I think there's certain teams that we really, really gravitate to more than others. And you guys are just phenomenal when you guys come out. I mean, it's just a great time with you guys. And we're really looking forward to having you guys out.
Well, thank you.
It's always a great time with you guys.
Yeah. We're all looking forward
We're always honored.
We're so damn good looking.
Oh, dang it. Well, we're sorry we're at the end of the show now. Oh, gosh. That was fantastic. But, Leanne, thank you so much for coming on.
We love
Next
you,
time,
Leanne.
next time, we just gotta, you gotta get a little light on the subject. But we're taking baby steps here, dear. Taking baby steps.
You did great.
Yes,
You did
did.
excellent, excellent, hon. Excellent. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Okay,
She
thank
she
you,
says
guys.
basically what we're seeing right now is what we see at the locations anyway.
That's right. Yeah.
True.
That's
We
right.
see her.
We see a green orb there. Is that a ball of energy that's in Leanne's house?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like that little ball of energy. It's just floating around there. So I'm like,
Well, and if anybody knows Leanne, that's what Leanne is a little ball of energy, right?
yeah, that's true. That is true. So true.
Okay, well,
So
thank
true.
you all. I better get off here before you hear my kids yell again. So, thank you,
Oh, you're
guys.
We love
fine.
you.
We love
Thank
you.
you.
I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
All right,
man.
bye-bye.
I honestly didn't think she'd get on.
I didn't.
I didn't
Yeah.
either. I'd have put dollars of donuts on that one.
I was really impressed when her and Brooke was doing that live and you were following them around.
Yeah, and like I said,
Yeah,
they're
that's
really
awesome.
good. She did the thing.
Yeah.
They're really good. They need a little, I guess, boost of, whatever. You
Yeah,
want to
they
call it.
did an
you
amazing
know,
job on that.
it's
Yeah,
easy to
yeah.
do. Yeah, she did a great job on it. It's great to do it.
Did you hear?
And they're all so knowledgeable. Brooke and
Yes.
Leanne are just so knowledgeable. I mean, I learned so much from them. When there's times where I need to know about the history because I'm forgetful, I'm gray and old. But yeah, so going to them, I'm like, hey, what was this? And they're really Johnny on the spot. They really do a lot of work, both of them, keeping the business running, keeping social media going, keeping the history going. So they really do a lot for OSPH. I mean, there's a lot of people combined who do a lot of things for us, but these two always seem to be, just working their tails off to get things done, and I'm always part of that.
And you know
Yeah.
what? I think they love what they do.
Oh yeah, I think everybody that's
I think they do too. Yeah.
I think we've built a team around us that really we're all, like I said, we're family. It's a giant family. We all have a goal in mind, and like I said, people. It's really amazing. I think what's really cool is that when things are going one way or the other, somebody always seems to step up, and take
Right.
the lead and do things, and I think that's really good that all of us work that way and we get along really well. And there's no
It's a well-oiled machine.
yeah,
That's it.
and it's good.
That's it.
And
And it shows. It shows every time we're there. Every time we've been there, it shows just pure professionalism, and at the same time, smiling faces and friendly people. Man, you just can't beat that in the paranormal. You can't do that. So they love the paranormal, and you've got what sounds like to me two outrageous haunted locations that are going to get a lot of use and a lot of good times. And
we certainly hope so. I mean, we want that research to keep going, and like we're branching out into other things. I know that we have hangover paranormal coffee or para hangover coffee that's going to be released here real soon.
Oh, really?
really,
Oh,
yeah.
So we're working with somebody because I saw that come up. Brandon said something about Red on Coffee, Red Bull, and shenanigans.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we're actually releasing a line of coffee, and one of them is actually extra caffeinated. For the long night.
Yeah.
You can see me running around doing this even more than I already do. I know that we've got Flatline Whiskey coming out. We've got Flatline Moonshine coming out. We're really kind of branched out into the paranormal and other things as well too. Because really, really, we want the paranormal to be, mainstream as well too.
Sure.
Brooke does all of our graphics that come up with some really, really cool, catchy looking coffee bags, and we're trying to do all the things that kind of go hand in hand with the paranormal, and we all know that coffee is a must to 2 o'clock.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So
You're going to have dark roast, right?
we are, and we're
I'm
fighting
in.
over because there's a couple out there that I want. We're trying to see because I'm not really like into coffee, but I do like that foo-foo coffee.
The foo-foo coffee.
The flavored kind of,
Right.
And so we're kind of working with, what flavors we're going to do. But yeah, it's really kind of a neat venture. And I know, like I said, everybody drinks coffee, and it'll be something that'll be available at our locations, to not only drink while you're there, but also for you to buy and purchase and take home with you. But yeah, we want to do all of that stuff. And like I said, we're trying to get, we're trying to take the paranormal to another level where people are like, hey, not only do they hunt ghosts, but, we're productive people and doing coffee and whiskey,
Right.
and that kind of thing. And so it's kind of neat to be branching out with there. And like I said, I've got a really, really good team that they're constantly coming up with new ideas and new things to really put the paranormal in the forefront. And those are the kind of things. And one of the things that I think is really cool is the jail that's up north from us. And I always forget the name of it. I'm really bad with names, but with Miranda Young and the other lady, Chris
Summers. Yeah.
They're doing such a great job up there, and they're doing the same thing. They're rolling out some merchandise, that's about the jail and that kind of thing. And that's what we really, really want to do is get a lot of that stuff going and really, really, really take this to another level. And so that we're all recognized as being, something very productive in the world today, and not just running around dark hospitals in the middle of the night, but actually being a productive member of the economy as well as a lot of other things. So
I love that.
Brandon asked if we get to be the test subjects for the coffee.
As long as you do a paranormal overnight in one of my 2 buildings, it'll be included in your overnight. So sure.
There you go.
That's one of the things we will be offering. We already offer that now, but it's usually Folgers or whatever. But we will have your own line of coffees in our facilities that you'll be able to drink, like I said, while you're there. And I know one of them, I'm not a coffee drinker, but Brooke looked into this. She's the one who's doing all the research. And one of them, I guess, is really caffeinated.
That's good.
It's got a lot of
We'll be tweaking out as we're.
Yeah.
So, and I forgot what it's called. I think it's called Shock or something. It's got a really unique name to it. And I was like, oh, like that, yeah. To see people running down the hall instead of walking. It's called Crank. Thank you.
Crank.
Yeah.
Crank. Oh, there we go.
So that'll get Bear to the 3rd floor.
Right, exactly. Can't wait.
He'll sprout his wings.
Yeah. Man, oh man. And the amount of coffee that I drink is obscene. So
I know that we got samples, and I know that I think Brooke tried it. I think a couple of our other volunteers tried it. And they said it was really, really good. Really good taste to it, really good flavor, really, really, like I said, real caffeinated. So in this industry, when you're going 10, 12 hours on an investigation, you need something to kind of keep you going, and that's what we want to, that's what we want to do. So without killing anybody with their heart attack,
Right.
Excellent. Ronnie, it is such a pleasure to always have you on here. We just enjoy you to death, and we love having to talk about your facilities, love talking about your teams. You just got it so good together, and we wish you all the best. We can't wait to see you again, and we talked about it before, we would love to have you guys come up for a night at the hall where we could all just sit back and hunt a small place, but just be together and relax.
Well, technically, it's not that small because it's the entire property.
Right, exactly. But compared to a 168 square foot facility,
just remember, Barry, it's not about the size; it's about the activity.
Right, exactly. But the 4,000 square foot that the hall offers is a pretty awesome. I've got to say, but we'd love to have you up there and have the team up there.
Bring the team up. We'll have a great time.
Well, we're also considering, and I think this is going to be fun, guys, and maybe we could do it at Octagon Hall. Maybe what we want to do is, I don't know if you ever saw this before, but it's called, I think it's called baby oil kickball or something like that. Have you ever So what we're trying to do is we're trying to do kind of a team building thing, and we want to do, and maybe Octagon Hall would be the place we can bring everybody up there. So, but we want
Sounds
to
great.
the swimming pools at home plate, first
Can we
plate.
make sure it's on a cloudy day? Because you talk about working on your tan.
Yeah.
We can do it. Well, I mean, as long as the weather. We all saw it. And we were like, "Hey, this would be a great team building, fun day to all hang out and kind of play some kickball and slide all over the slip and slides." And so after the show, we'll talk about this and get our teams
out
together.
and lube it up.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord!
All right, we're going south real quick.
It came across on the Facebook feed. I'm like, "Oh, this would be fun."
Yeah.
And then of course, some of the team was like, "Oh, that would be broken bones." And I'm like,
Yeah. They mend.
We could do human dodgeball.
Yeah. Well,
I'll tell you
folks.
what, the spirits at Octagon would probably join in.
Oh, I would say so. I would say so. And after the reports that we had this weekend, I don't even know. I'll tell you, just keeps on getting stranger and stranger. So, but Ronnie, thank you so very much for coming here tonight talking about your labors of love. And that's what makes it great, because they are your labors of love. And you're also your team's involved in it. And it's everybody's collaboration to make it a great place and a safe place for everybody to investigate. And look, folks, if you want a good place to hunt and you want to know that you're going to be safe and you want to know you're going to have a great time, you need to be in Tennessee, and you need to be seeing one of the gentlemen's right there in his wonderful team's locations, either Old South Pittsburg Hospital or the Old Historic Harriman Hospital. And these are great paranormal research centers. And I love it that is exactly what Ronnie always says when he's talking about them, because this is what these places are here for. Same thing with the hall, same with everything else. We want people to do paranormal research, keep coming back, and get the answers that they're looking for. Ronnie, thank you for really
Thank you for everything you
taking
do.
taking the paranormal to that next level. I love you.
Well, thanks.
And thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on.
But folks, we'll be back here next week, and I'm looking at the calendar, and I believe it's going to be we're debating on doing a live thing on a certain week here, and so I'm a little bit sketchy, but I'll have it out here shortly. So we may see a live event with us all on Into the Far at a location. So we are looking for that, and please keep tuned for that information. And everybody, have a great night. Stay safe, and look up for the paranormal. Look up for UFOs. Look for everything else. And as the day winds down, it's been an awesome, happy paranormal day.
Tomorrow, may the 4th be with you guys.
Yes, exactly. May the force be with you. So take care, y'all. God bless. Thank you, chat room, for all you do and for coming here and supporting us. We do appreciate it greatly. Good night, y'all.